All right, welcome to another Tech Tuesday where we are springing into tech this spring. Today, we're specifically going to take a look at our iLead interactive binders slash portfolios, and we're going to do a little tutorial for that just to review how to use these interactive binders. So once again, I'm going to reintroduce myself. I am Lakeisha Pound Smith. I'm your district ed tech coordinator, and I am here to help you to obtain and integrate technical tools into your classroom. So if you need assistance, even if it's IT assistance, the best way to reach us is to make sure that you submit a ticket on Incident IIQ. For me specifically, you'll go under IIQ and then you'll submit a ticket under the ed tech department. All right, once again, our goal for today is to cover the iLead interactive binders slash portfolios. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this folder should have been shared with you by your campus admins. If it has not been shared with you, then I am sharing with you. I am sharing it with you right this moment. So you'll have access to it. Okay. So these two files right here are the ones that actually are able to be shared with your students. They are the digital journals or digital portfolios that you can cover in your student conferences. This last file right here is the actual teacher instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to take me right to my Jubilee Teacher Instruction Guide. Now, it does say 2023, but that's just because that was the inaugural year where we first started using these interactive notebooks or journals for student conferences. So the information is still relevant and it's still up to date. The nice thing about this file is that it actually walks you through every step, minus one little tiny step, on how to get this information to your students. Okay, so one of the first steps is to make sure that you keep an original. So it's going to basically walk you through how to make a copy. I'm also going to briefly do that for you today so that you can know how to make a copy. It also encourages you to make a second copy, and this one will be specifically for your students. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but it's always great to make sure that you have one that you have kept for yourself and then one that specifically goes out to the students. Okay, and then it will also walk you through that as well. What's nice about this file as well is that each and every slide that outlines what you're supposed to do also has a embedded video. So if you click right here, it'll start the video or we'll take you to the YouTube link. The next step is to make sure that you send it to the students. Okay, and then it kind of reviews the 9 weeks workflow. Now, we are on 9 weeks. When this was originally made, the video references 6 weeks, but please keep in mind that now we have a 9-week grading period. But it helps you to walk through what does that look like. Okay, so everyone has this available to them now. And if you ever have any questions about how to utilize these tools again, this interactive notebook again, then you'll have that available to you here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to follow some of these steps. So first, I'm going to take a look at the slides. I'm going to come right here to where the slides are. I'm going to go ahead and click to open it. And then on your end, once you open it, it's going to say view only up here somewhere at the top. What you're going to do is click File and then make copy and then entire presentation. Once you click to make the entire presentation, you're going to rename it. I'm going to name this My Copy. And from here, I can actually change what folder it goes into. So I'm going to put it into my iLead folder and select. So now it is making my copy and it is located in my folder called my iLead. Now, if you ever get to the point where you're like, I made the copy, however, I forgot to change the folder, you can always go up here to the little folder icon in Google Slides and click. And this will allow you to move whatever the name of your file is. This will allow you to move it to wherever you need it to be. So if I needed to move it to where it's under my name again, or it's under 2025, I could simply click move. Let's say, for instance, I wanted it under EdTech, I could click move right here. If I wanted to see more contents of this folder, I would simply click this arrow, and then I can see my embedded folders that are under the EdTech folder. Okay. And then to complete that move, I would simply click move down here or move right here. All right. Since I already have it where I need it to be, I'm not going to move it anywhere. Okay. So one of the things that was a little confusing for our teachers was, why can't I move anything, right? We're very used to being given slides where we can move things wherever we want to, but these slides were intentionally built to where you cannot move things around. And that's because these slides are ultimately supposed to go into the hands or on the computers of your students. So since they're supposed to go to students, this file is supposed to go to students. We wanted to make sure that they were not able to move any of this, okay? So it is intentionally built this way and designed this way. So for instance, I'll go to the second slide, and you'll notice if I click overview, goals, data tracker, if I click any of this information, it's not doing anything. And it is meant to do that, okay? If you click on these images located right here, it will take you to some of the videos that overview these different components, okay? Also, if you click on the side, it is meant to be interactive, right? To where if you were displaying this and you're having this conference with a student, you could actually put it into slideshow mode. You would be able to click my goals and it will take you right to that page where that student's goals are located. And it's the same thing for the goal tracker, the data tracker, the weekly check-ins, and the reflections. Okay, so we're going to move on to slide 4, where it says my goals. You will once again notice that many of the components are not clickable by the students. Now, here's one of the things they can change, and you as the teacher can change, is you can go into this box and you can type in what 9 weeks it actually is. We are currently, at the time of this recording, we're not in the first 9 weeks. We're actually in the third 9 weeks. So we would change this to where it says third 9 weeks. And you are able to change that, or the student is able to change that. Okay. Now, this is the part where the student can add in and can change things. And it is literally labeled for them to be able to click into it. It says click to add text. They can click into this box. Now, they have to make sure that when they click into the box that they also delete the click to add text. And then they can add their answer. So this one says, what is your goal? And so they could start off by typing, my goal is to, and then they can continue on with their answer. And you'll see that that same option is listed under the next question and the next question. These are the things that the students are able to edit without messing up any of the backgrounds, moving anything around, or anything of that sort. Okay. Also, you'll see that it gives you instructions, or gives the students instructions how to replace the images here, because this is their vision board. So they're able to replace these with images that that they would like to see on their vision board. Okay. So to replace the image, they would simply right click on their Chromebooks. If you're doing this for yourself as a walkthrough, you would 2-finger click if you're on a MacBook. But the students will have the ability to right click, and then they'll go down to where it says replace image, and then they have the option to upload it from the computer, okay? Or they can also upload it by URL. It is our suggestion that the students download their images beforehand so that they are already available on their computer and they can quickly add in those images. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slides, and you'll see that these are basically duplicates of the first slide. So these goals are to be set every quarter or every 9 weeks. Next, you'll see that there's a goal tracker. Once again, the students can click into this and they have the ability to actually type in an answer. They can also click over here and be able to type their answers or responses as well. So basically everything that the students can type into is clickable. So if they're ever getting to something and they're like, I can't click this, it's because it's not meant for them to click on at all. It's not meant for them to move or drag or anything else of that sort of matter. Okay. So next I'm going to go down to these weekly check-ins, same kind of setup where they can click into the boxes and do their responses. And it just continues with these different parts of the template where they can click into the boxes where they're supposed to respond and only respond in those boxes. Now, something fun that they can actually do throughout their portfolio or binder is they can actually utilize these stickers. So to utilize the stickers to make it a little bit more creative for them, they are able to actually come here, click on a sticker, and they can right click and copy it. Then they can go to where they want to paste it at, and they'll right click and paste. They can also do Control C and Control V to do this a little quicker, and then they can move it around. Right. So those are the capabilities that the students have on their end. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I, as a teacher, edit this? Let's say I really want the title of this to maybe be different, or I need to add in one component. I'm not sure where that is located. What you're going to do is to edit things from the teacher side where you can still prevent the students from making any changes to the template. You're going to go up to View, then you're going to click on Theme Builder. In the Theme Builder, you are able to see that, one, there are more parts to this template. So for instance, it's not just purple, right? I can also go with red or orange. And then there's some extra slides that I could have added in as well. This one is a blank one, and there's more templates to add in. Okay, but what I wanted to work on, right, was to change what this says. So, or to add in something to this particular cover. So instead of my goals, maybe I want to call this RLA goals, and I want to put Miss Pound's class. Okay, now this is gigantic, so I'm going to go ahead and change the size. So I'll take it down to just like that. Okay. And now the title is different. Now I could make this look a little better. I could also move this down if I wanted to, make it larger. I can move any of these components now. I could maybe put my name in the center or the name of the book in the center if that's really what I wanted to do. And whatever I change here will permanently change in my template. Okay. So now it looks all crazy, but you get the point that this is where I can actually move the components. Now that I've done that, it saves automatically, and I'm going to go back to my original file. So you'll see nothing has changed on this one because this is not the one that I made any changes to in the template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this plus button to add a new slide. It is automatically going to insert the template for the one that was right above it, but that is no problem. I can also right click or two-finger click on the previous slide and just duplicate it, and it will do the same thing basically. So once I have this next slide in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, or for Macs, you're going to two-finger click, and you are going to select Apply Layout. So once I go to Apply Layout, I can now see the book cover red, the one that I made the changes to. That looks a little crazy, but I'm going to insert it anyway. And now I have this cover instead. Okay. Now, of course, since I have this new cover, which looks a little crazy, I can go ahead and remove the original one because this ultimately has to go to the students, right? So they don't need two covers to choose from. You want to give them one to choose from. Okay. Now you'll notice that now that I have inserted it into the actual template, I can't move anything because this is how the students would view it. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back into the template builder. And I'm going to undo these changes. Once again, to see the theme builder, we need to go up to view and then click theme builder. And it will take me back to my templates that I can actually add it. Now, a long time ago, this used to be called master slides. So basically, in essence, you are still editing master slides because whoever has access to the document does not have access to edit your master slides. Only you do. Okay. So other things or components that you might want to change, let's say I know that I started my weeks late, so I don't actually need a full 9 weeks, or maybe it's 10 weeks, right? Instead, then I have the ability to come in here. Let's say, you know what, it's actually 10 weeks, this 9 weeks somehow, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and copy this or duplicate it. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type the number 10. Okay. And then once again, whatever changes I make here are now going to be reflected over here. And so now you can see that the students have the 10th week added in, and they still have the ability to click on just their pieces. Okay. If you wanted to, and you didn't want them to edit the cycle or the 9-week cycle that you're on, you could also add in this specific information into the theme builder before you send it out to the students as well. So this won't be an editable component for them either, but that's completely up to you. Okay, so once you have made the changes that you would like to make to each of the slides, remember whatever changes you make in Theme Builder will always come back and be reflected here in the original copy that is going to go out to your students. So once you have made all of the changes necessary, what you'll do is you will go onto your Google Classroom and you will share this document with your student. When you are sharing the slides with your student as an assignment, you will need to make sure that you select make individual copies or make copies for your student. Okay. If you choose the one where it allows everyone to edit, everyone will be on the same slides. So you need to make sure that you share it as individual copies. Now, another part of the iLead binder or journal is this file as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And when you open it up on your end, what it should do is prompt you to download it. If it does not, from right here, you can actually click on the 3 dots and make a copy. And mine is going to save in this folder because this folder actually belongs to me, but yours may actually go to your regular drive, okay? You can also, instead of make a copy, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one. Instead of make a copy, you can also just click download from right here. Once you have your copy downloaded, you'll be able to click on it, and then you'll notice that this entire book is a PDF. And it was, once again, it was intentionally created that way because most of these were used by our younger audiences, and they were meant to be printed out and to be worked on as a printable. Now, here's the thing, you don't actually have to print this out. It is quite a few pages, right? And when you look at how many pages it is, you may think twice about using up your prints to print this out, right? So instead of printing out these 41 pages about 30 times, it is best to utilize Kami, our PDF editor, to be able to have students respond to these questions. So in order to do that, I've actually gone ahead and put my copy into my folder. So I just drug that into my folder on my Google Drive. And now, while I'm in my Google Drive, I can click on these three dots and I'm going to click Open With. Now, under Open With, you should see a little purple symbol with a K that says Annotate with Cami. That is what you want to select. So I'm going to go ahead and click Annotate with Cami. If that is not one of your selections, please submit a ticket on Instant IQ and one of our IT members can help you. You also have the option of actually just going to Cami. And once you're logged into Cami, you can drag and drop your file as well. And then it also warns me that I already had a few copies of this in here or have a similar file name. So I'm going to create new copy. Now, the first time you open up Cami or open up a document with Cami, it is going to prompt you to make sure that you enable some permissions. Go ahead and enable those permissions so that you're able to utilize the platform. Okay. Also, it gives you the ability to run text recognition. I normally just say no thanks because I don't want it to do anything with the text because it's for students. It's going out to students. So all you'll do is click no thank you. Also, if this is not originally in your Google Drive already, it will prompt you to save a copy in your Google Drive once you start working on this. Okay, so now that this is in Cami, the students actually have the ability, once you share it out with them, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second, but once you share it out with them, they'll have the ability to come over here. They'll have the tools available to them. They'll be able to select. This one actually helps them to translate now. They have a translation tool on here, as well as a dictionary tool. They have the ability to read aloud. They can mark the text, or that means like highlighting and annotating, those kinds of things. Okay, they can actually insert a comment with their voice, with a video, or just with a screen capture, or they can do something simple as a text box. For most of your students, especially if they're younger, you'll just be working with the text box part. Now, they do also have some features like equation, drawing, shapes. They do have an eraser as well. And then for the most part, your students won't need this question part and they won't need the signature part, of course, right? So I would recommend turning those off for once you send it to your students. Now, they may need the add media button. That one's a pretty important one, especially if you're asking them to be more interactive with this tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the students will respond. They can come up here to the text box and they can select whatever colors are here. If they're not sure or they don't like those colors, there's more colors right here. And they can select, let's say I don't want that purple, I actually want this purple. And so now it's given me a different purple in my palette. I also have the ability, let's say I really want this maroon. I can come and do that, and then I can save it. At any time, they can always reset their colors to default. I'm going to click right here and begin typing into the document. So this one says, when I grow up, and the students may say, I want to be, and then they can continue doing this. Now, for our very, very young students, right, they don't know how to spell most of these words. So what would be beneficial for them is for you to actually come over here to where it says comment and to do a voice comment. And then that way, they can click right into this. It's going to ask for microphone access. Okay, and because I'm also recording this right now, it's not going to let me record it, but your students will be able to record once they insert the microphone, and they can even change the little hotspot dot color to whatever they want it to be. And then they will be able to record their answer. So that way you don't have to necessarily worry about them typing it out. They can also record their voice and insert their answer that way. Also, if you want to make sure it was them, or you want to give them experience with seeing themselves talk, you may also want to use the video comment. It works the same way. They'll click on video comment. And once again, it's not going to let me record because I'm already in the process of recording. But all I have to do is click on video comment and click into where they want to respond, and it will allow them to do so. So once again, here's that little warning I gave you that it will ask you to save to Google Drive. And now it's in there. Okay. So the students will have access to do this. Once again, because I am recording, it won't let me do a recording. Okay. And then if they mess up, it's okay. They can always come over here and delete it. Okay. Another option for our younger students responding would be to come over here and click Add Media. So when they add media, they have the ability to add images from their computer. They more than likely will not have any images on their computer. They can use their Google Drive. Probably don't have any images there, but the really beneficial one is Google Search. So once they do their Google search, let's say I want to be a doctor, so I type in a doctor. The good thing about this is that these are student safe and student friendly images that will pop up. So you don't have to worry about anything inappropriate popping up in this particular search engine. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this very first image, insert image. Okay, and then once I click insert image, it's going to let me float around with it until I click to drop it. So this is my answer right here. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Of course, it's overlapping, so I need to shrink this to make this a little smaller. And then you still have your students' responses. Another option students may want to use, or you may want to have your students use, is the ability to draw. So if they click on draw, they can actually, once again, select whatever color they want to. And then they can come in here and actually draw whatever it is that they would like to draw. Okay. So they also have the ability to click Add Media, come down here to where the smiley face is, and insert stickers as well, if they would like to respond in a sticker or just to add some personality to their journal. So that is how you would use both of the iLead resources online. I just want to briefly go through how would you share this particular document on your Google Classroom. So I'm actually going to make sure that I rename this, and I'm going to call it student copy, and it will save automatically. And I'm going to go to my Google Classrooms. So I've already opened up Google Classroom. I'm going to select this class, go to classwork, create, and then I'm going to select Kami assignment. Once I go to Kami assignment, I'm going to name my assignment. Just going to call it iLead for now. And then I have the ability to connect that iLead portfolio or document, that iLead file from my drive, even from the download, because maybe as a teacher, you don't want to add anything else. You just want to make sure they have access to it. But for the sake of this assignment, we're going to make sure that we add it from our drive. And I have to remember where it is saved or what it is called. So what I can do is come back over here to Kami and copy the name of this file. Go back to my classroom where I'm searching for the file and insert that. And it found it. And then I want to make sure that I make a copy for each student. Then also I need to make sure I assign it to all the classes that I need to assign it to. That I leave it as all students. I provide a due date. Okay, and then right here, this is the very important part. This is how you control what features your students have access to. You'll need to click on Feature Control. And then you will need to toggle off. By default, all of them are toggled on, but you'll need to toggle off whatever you don't want the students to be utilizing. So for instance, if you don't want them to use equations for this one, you would remove equations. If you're like, we're really not highlighting for this, we can remove that. Under media, let's say that I do not want you going to YouTube or OneDrive. You don't need graphic organizers. Basically, you can click off whatever you need to click off. You also have the ability, since everything is on by default, you can come up here and click all off and only come in here and click the ones you want the students to utilize. So for instance, we can come in here, click understand tools, and then the dictionary will be available. The read aloud. I want you to be able to make comments. I want you to be able to have a text box, and I want you to be able to draw. And you can have stickers. You can have the camera and my computer. And I'll go ahead and add Google image search as well. Okay. And then these down here are the support features, which you can once again toggle on and off depending on what you would like them to have access to. Once you select your features that you would like your students to have, you will click OK. You can also click Remember Options if this is commonly what you want your students to have access to, and it will remember these options when you are building Kami assignments. So once you do that, you'll go ahead and click Assign, and then that assignment will be available for your students. And the nice thing is, once they click on the assignment in Google Classroom, it will take them straight to Kami. Right? And it will look just like this. And your students will need to make sure that they click Open with Kami. That's one of the main things. Make sure they click Open with Kami. If they just click on the PDF, it's just going to open the PDF. So they need to open with Kami, and then they can insert all of their responses digitally utilizing the Kami platform. So once again, those are the different components of the iLead interactive journal or binder or portfolio, whichever you want to call it. And that is how you get your students to be able to edit it online. And that is how you can also edit it online using those tools that I just demonstrated. Once again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let us know. If you have any issues, submit a ticket on Instant IQ or reach out to me directly, and we can get you help as soon as possible. All right. So thank you once again for joining me. Before you leave, I want to make sure that you fill out this survey so that you can receive credit for this time with me today. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.